routine, personal preferences, and lowering your expectations. Today, you're going to find out all about exercise on night shift. But before we do, if you're not already subscribed to my daily email, The Morning Parade, then you're missing out. Missing out on stories like me handling human feces or being bitten by a human. All sorts of crazy stories. So check the link in the description. Subscribe today. I promise you won't regret it. Without further ado, it's time to get your shift together.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time to get your shift together.
175 second in.
You're listening to On the Path Podcast
Oh, I like the sound of this.
with your host, Sparv.
Let me start off by saying I agree that night shift sucks. Yeah, I said it. Let's just clear the water straight away. Night shift sucks. It's really complicated. Makes us feel socially isolated, makes us kind of feel a bit kooky after 7 night shifts in a row. So yeah, it's really hard. And I get asked all the time for years, how should I train while I'm on night shift? Should I train before shift? Should I train after shift, before sleep? So there is really no one size fits all. But I am so sick of people I admire and agree with and listen to, personal trainers out there and other gurus who are preaching about how to get in shape and how to be healthy and how to exercise. And they preach routine, routine, routine. And it's bullshit. There is no routine for shift workers, okay? And it's totally alright. And I'm here, hopefully, to be a voice of reason in that domain. It's almost impossible to build routine around night shift, especially when it comes to emergency service first responders, because we've also got an element of random unexpected trauma sprinkled in there. That could be in the form of 6-7 hours overtime. I remember a few years ago now, I did a 27-hour shift working in far north of South Australia. 27 hours straight. Isn't that just mental? Like, how am I going to exercise on that? I digress. We're going to struggle to get routine. So first things first, I want you to lower your expectations. Before I even get into the how-tos, I want you to lower your expectations. Because if the craziness of life is catching up to you on a night shift week, give yourself permission to relax. Don't force yourself to train if you're an absolute mess. Don't force yourself to train if you haven't slept for 2 nights. If you've had a super traumatic shift or couple of shifts and you just need to detox with some mates, then prioritize that, okay? We're way too hard on ourselves. Way too hard. So take a breather if you need it, all right? But let's look at some practical things. If you haven't exercised ever on night shift, or maybe you're just in a bit of a rut and you've missed exercise for the last few weeks or the last rotation, I get it, okay? It happens. Life happens. It's easy to fall off the wagon. Falling off the wagon isn't what defines who we are, but it's getting back on it that does, all right? So jump back on. Just jump back on. Don't wait till Monday. Monday's never gonna come, all right? Get back on that wagon today. Let's start with a walk, okay? Because if you can walk, well, fair dinkum, good job. Go for a walk, all right? Just go for a walk around the block. Start with that. And maybe you just do that for every night shift. For me, my post-night shift routine was always a walk with my dogs. Rain, hail, or shine, I'd go take the dogs for a walk around the block, or 2 or 3, depending on how I was feeling. It was a good way to decompress as well, right? See a lot of people who do traumatic work on night shift and they come home and then they lay in bed staring at the ceiling, wondering why I can't fucking sleep, right? Well, what have you done to decompress? Have you just got straight from your car to your bedroom and you're lying down? Like, is there no process in between that? I'm going to talk about looking after your mind space in another episode, but case in point, a walk post-night shift for me has always helped me unwind. Likewise, a stretch. I like to stretch before I go to sleep. Makes me feel good. And it's another way to decompress. I'm just there, just stretching. Can think about the shit that's happened during my shift. I can work out ideas about what's happening tomorrow and whatever else. Now, some people will find that that actually really triggers them and gets their brains whirring right before sleep. So this is why I spoke about at the beginning of this episode, personal preferences, okay? So what I'm offering you won't necessarily fit you, okay? One size doesn't fit all, but I wanted to provide you with some ideas and some practical insights that have worked for me that you could try in your life. Doesn't mean that they'll work, okay? But if you're not doing anything, then doing something is better than nothing. And if it doesn't work, whoop-de-fucking-do. It didn't work, and now at least you know what doesn't work for you. And that's a win, right? So, post-night shift, pre-bed. I like to go for a walk. And I like to have a stretch. That's it. Works for me. It's pretty easy. Okay? Now, pre-night shift, that's kind of like a smorgasbord of whatever you want, really, as far as I'm concerned. I'm a big fan of weight training like 3 times a week. I love jiu-jitsu, and I also enjoy running. So I try not to really schedule anything in for my weeks of night shift, as opposed to just seeing how I'm feeling on the day, right? You'll all know it out there, engaging in shift work, how it feels to wake up and, I've had 2 or 3 hours sleep, right? And on those days, I probably am not going to train. Yeah, it's true. I'm not. I might go for a walk. I think walking is really underrated and not spoken about enough about just the overall benefits, mind and body, right? Super good to just clear the fog, the cobwebs of no sleep. So for me, I just like to wake up and then choose whatever I want to do on that day, okay? I have another rule that I live by that James Smith, an online personal trainer, he spoke about in one of his books. It's a brilliant rule, okay? And one I would like to share with you, and you can give it a crack as well. Now, I've said already to lower your expectations and to not be too hard on yourself. And I absolutely stand by that. But this rule of 4 is a pretty neat way of getting after it when you don't feel like getting after it. You see, our brains are really good at lying to us. They are really good at lying to us. They can convince us of pretty much anything, okay? Including that we're too tired to exercise. Now, this rule of 4 is that I go to gym, even when I don't want to, and I do 4 sets of whatever my first exercise is going to be. 4 sets. And then I'm allowed to go, right? I can go home, but I just have to do those 4 sets. And 99 times out of 100, I do those 4 sets and I realize, actually, I'm kind of feeling all right. And I get after it. It's pretty cool, right? Rule of 4. Give it a crack. See if it works for you. Now, before the inevitable questions are raised in the comment section, what does my workout program look if I'm training 3 days a week? I like to do a full body split across the 3 days. Okay? I don't go on in my days of doing bro splits and chest one day and back and biceps another day and quads one day and hamstrings and yeah, you get it, right? I don't really do that anymore. I like to do a total body workout 3 times a week. All right? And that could be at the gym, using traditional means, bench press and leg press, all that good stuff. But equally, I absolutely love just using kettlebells at home. And I can get a full body workout in with an 8 kilo kettlebell and get it done in about 40 minutes. Okay, so you're not restricted in regards to what those 3 resistance training workouts look like. The 3 that I do anyway. But like I said, I'm a huge proponent for jiu-jitsu. So if I wake up and I've had a decent amount of sleep and I'm feeling rested enough, then I'll go to jiu-jitsu. Maybe if I'm not feeling super rested, I'm not feeling like swinging some kettlebells, I'll just go for a jog. Okay? So I know it's not giving you just like a textbook, this is what to do, but this is where I'm different. This is where I'm different, and the advice I give is different to majority of what's out there, because majority of what's out there isn't going to work for shift workers, okay? It's not going to work for night shift. It's not going to work if you've got overtime, because we're tired. We're tired, we're dealing with trauma, our bodies are fucked from lifting heavy shit at work, right? So, yeah, it's a totally unique work environment, this shift work stuff, this night shift stuff. My big 3 takeaways: lower your expectations, personal preferences, and routine is bullshit. So, look, I want you to go out there and give it a crack. See what's working for you and see what's not. When you don't feel like training because you haven't had enough sleep, give my rule of 4 a go. Go to the gym, do 4 sets. Come home. Too tired? Fair dinkum, come home. That's okay. Chances are you'll carry on. Post night shift, try out my walk. Just go for a walk, right? Take the dogs for a walk, do a couple of blocks, relax, unwind. Bring up a 20-minute whole body stretch routine on YouTube after you've done your walk, and unwind like that before attempting sleep, okay? And for your workouts, try and get 3 weight sessions in, if you can. Kettlebells or a full body workout routine of some description. Just try and get something in, okay? But again, don't put that pressure on yourself. It's not the end of the world. It's 1 week of your life, okay? This is a marathon, not a sprint. You gotta look after your body, you gotta look after your mind, and that's gonna take being kind to yourself, okay? So that's my advice for night shift and exercise. It isn't a cookie cutter exercise program. I'd love to give you one for night shift, but there isn't one right now. Stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to my Morning Parade email newsletter. I do have some programs that are coming out specifically for shift workers, okay? You'll be first to hear through my email when those are available. But otherwise, it's time to get your shift together, guys. Thanks for listening in to episode number 3. Share this with a friend. Leave a comment below if you've liked it. And if you haven't, please subscribe to my email newsletter. You've heard it 3 times. That's my limit. 3 times in this podcast. Seriously, it's funny as shit. And you kind of get to hear from me every single day. Really just matter of fact, like we're mates. But we are mates. You're here listening to me. We're friends. All right, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Take care. Be safe. Get your shift together.